So this past weekend, NASCAR inducted 5 more members into the Hall of Fame, with the 2020 class consisting of Joe Gibbs, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, Buddy Baker, and Weddle Wilson. Now that we have entered Speed Weeks, this is usually the time before or after where the NASCAR Hall of Fame Executive Director Winston Kelley, along with track executives as well as track owners, a total of about 20 members, they'll come together to figure out the 20 nominees for the 2021 class, which the nominees will be announced around March, with the inductees announced around May. We should expect a lot of new nominees to the Hall. Let's talk about the eligibility first. For a driver, they must have completed at least 10 years or competed for at least 10 years of the sport and have retired for 2. Or if you've competed for at least 10 years and reach your 55th birthday on or before December 31st, you're eligible for the Hall. If they've competed for at least 30 years by the end of December 31st, they're also eligible. As for non-drivers, though, at least 10 years in the NASCAR industry is all you need. Some of the nominees we could see from last year may include guys like Sam Ard, Neil Bonnet, Red Farmer, Ray Fox, Harry Gant, John Holman, Ralph Moody, Herschel McGriff, Marvin Panch, Jim Paschal, Ricky Rudd, and Mike Stefanik. However, it is likely we will see some new members get a nomination and maybe even make the Hall in their first year of eligibility. Let me explain why this class in 2021 may be one of the most controversial. One of the former NASCAR drivers that is eligible for nomination for the first time this season is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's a 2-time Daytona 500 winner and a 2-time Xfinity Series champion, as well as a 15-time most popular driver. Now, this is the part why I say his nomination could be controversial. So, one of the ballots of the 59 voting ballots for the voting committee that are submitted include a nationwide fan vote, so something kind of similar to the most popular driver voting at the end of the season, or even the NASCAR fan vote to have one driver into the NASCAR Cup All-Star race. So none of the 4 major sports, like the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL, they do not have fans nominating for a potential finalist, I should say, for the Hall of Fame. NASCAR only does it, and it's a part of one ballot. There's 59 people that are in the voting committee, one ballot for each person. So the voting panel that are a part of the ballots, besides the nominating committee, they include former drivers, crew chiefs, and owners, as well as manufacturer representatives, media members, and the reigning Cup champion Kyle Busch. Now remember as well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., everyone knows he works for NBC Sports as an analyst for the NASCAR content, as well as some other motorsports stuff. And one of the media members include a Comcast representative, which owns NBC Sports. The other media members include as well Fox Sports, so both of the TV representatives, as well as the radio representatives, Motor Racing Network, Performance Racing Network, and Sirius XM. Now, I know that NASCAR doesn't really reveal who got the most ballots or who was unanimous like MLB has done in the past, but imagine if Junior makes it on what could be maybe the 5th ballot by 1 or 2 votes, possibly because of the fan vote or even the media vote. And if he does make it in, you would possibly have a 50-50 mixed reaction from fans alike. One side, if Junior doesn't make it in, the Junior fans would get mad if he doesn't get inducted into 2021. But if he does get inducted, you could have some more debate on fans who believe that this driver should have deserved to get into the Hall before Junior did, based on maybe experience as well. Not too sure about that. And for those who haven't seen my take on induction in the NOFSRO Discord, which if you have not joined, you better go down to the description after this video and join it. But my take on induction for 2021, I don't think Junior makes the class. I think he makes it into the Hall of Fame in the future, but I don't really think he makes it now. And this is coming from a Junior fan as well. I was a Dale Jr. fan from 2015 until his retirement in 2017. I don't know if you can look closely. Yeah, you can. Up on that hat on the top right, that's a Dale Jr. hat that he wore and autographed and gave it to me when I was a fan back in 2015 at Michigan. But anyway, I don't think he gets it out in 2021 despite his stats. Sure, he may have been in the running for the title in like 2004, but when he swore on network television following his win at Talladega on NBC, caught him saying the S-bomb, as well as 2 DNFs in a row following that race, including at Atlanta where he was running near the front, most likely ended his championship chances. He did have a chance to win the title in 2006, but it seemed less likely. 2 other drivers like Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and eventually Matt Kenseth, as well, and eventually Jimmy Johnson. To me, there seems to be one driver that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more than Dale Earnhardt Jr., maybe even 2, but the one driver I am definitely thinking of, Carl Edwards. While he did have less Xfinity Series championships, remember Carl won in 2007 to the 2 that Dale Jr. won in the late 90s, as well as no Daytona 500 wins. Jr. won in 2004 and 2014. He does have more Cup and Xfinity Series wins, 28 Cup wins, 38 Xfinity wins, compared to Dale Jr.'s 26 and 24 in Cup and Xfinity, respectively. As aforementioned, he is the 2007 when it was named known as the Busch Series at the time, the Grand National Champion, as well as the 2015 Coke 600 winner, and the same year, the Southern 500, also the Xfinity and Truck Series Rookies of the Year back in 2005 for Xfinity and 2003 for the Truck Series. Also, when you think about the years that Edwards has contended for a championship in the Busch Series, in 2007, which he won, clinched it at Texas, but also came close from 2008 to 2010. Remember 2008, won by Clint Bowyer, 2009, Kyle Busch, and 2010, that big rivalry against Brad Keselowski. He also had the best car in 2011 as well. 8 wins in the season in the number 60, and gave the team the Owners' Championship. Remember, he could not have been the Drivers' Championship at the time because that was the new rule where you could only be eligible for one series at a time, so obviously he had to choose the Cup Series. Remember that burnout as well between Edwards and Stenhouse after Stenhouse won the driver's title as well, doing that really nice burnout. But anyway, in the Cup Series, tied for second in his first year in 2005, but he lost the tiebreaker to Greg Biffle because of win. So Edwards finished third in the standings. He finished runner-up to Jimmy Johnson in 2008, despite recording the most wins. He would have won the championship as well if there was no chase. And then who can't remember this though? 2011, one of the best title battles we had in that era of the playoffs, tied with Tony Stewart for the title at the end, but Stewart got the tiebreaker because of the 5 wins he got in the playoffs. 2 Edwards' 1 he had at Vegas, and Carl could have won without the playoffs. Tony, I believe he would have finished third in the standings if it was a full 36-race regular season schedule. And then in 2016, Carl, best car amongst the championship 4, led the most laps amongst the championship 4, I should say, as well. And then with 10 laps to go, the restart, and he tried to block Logano, a desperate move there, and Edwards took himself out of the running, which was despite hard racing. So that's my take on Carl Edwards making the Hall of Fame. But another eligible, Matt Kenseth. Who wouldn't want to see this guy inducted into the Hall of Fame? The 2003 Winston Cup champion at the time, only had 1 win. It was known as the Matt Kenseth rule. A 2-time Daytona 500 champion in 2009 and 2012. Those are the notable stats I can think of. And who can fit as well in his farewell season full time, to say the least, in 2017, going out with that win at Phoenix in the penultimate race of the season. So tomorrow we'll recap the headlines that we've seen throughout the past week with 5 Minutes with Marty. We'll continue the Speed Week coverage again tomorrow throughout the rest of Speed Week's daily content until we head to the Daytona 500 when we wrap stuff up there. As always, if you support my content, please become one of my patrons on Patreon. Plans start at $1 each, and $1 a month, I should say, and they include some great rewards. And remember, if we get a specific amount of funds, it would be able to help me out go cover Watkins Glen for the entire weekend, and I could definitely use your support there. If you guys enjoyed the video as well, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm Marty. I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. And until then, peace out.